Welcome to Business Success Tips, where we can learn to make more money in less time and have more fun. I'm Paul Sanneman, the founder of Contractor Staffing Source, where we help contractors build great teams. Have my guest today, Shirley Cress Dudley from Roofers Contractor Marketing. Got that? I think I got it right.
Roofer Contractor Marketing, yes.
I got it right. That's the hardest part of this whole show. Okay, so Shirley, tell me your background and why people should listen to you, and what you know about marketing that they probably don't.
I started out SCD Consulting Services, which was medically based, and because of my background in the medical field, and I had a leak in my roof, and a small roofing company came to my house, and the owner was the one that came trying to figure out the leak, and it was in my office, so he's looking over my shoulder and asking me, what do I do for a living? And that was my first client 14 years ago. We don't have contracts, and his roofing company is still one of my clients.
Okay. And so why did you decide, before this you did like marketing for medical? Tell me a little about that and how it got transitioned into roofing and how that went.
Sure. I worked with doctors and dentists, and with the doctors it was cosmetic dentists, so surgeons. But what I've discovered is surgeons and roofers talk a lot the same. They say exactly what they want. They actually probably use cuss words about the same, but they tell you what they need and what they want, and they don't beat around about it. And I really like that straightforward communication.
Okay. And so how is your business transition from marketing contractors to marketing just, or do you still market doctors? Just curious.
I still do market to doctors, and then also to roofers, contractors, all types of small businesses, could be attorneys, any local businesses. I don't really work with national companies, although I work with local businesses all over the United States.
Okay. So tell me an example of like a roofing contractor you've worked with. Maybe give me a success story of something you've done for them and how you helped them in their marketing, what's actually occurred.
Sure. So commonly we will either build a website for them or update their website. Then once the website is built, we optimize it for the search engines. And then we begin producing fresh content to it regularly, posting to social media, creating backlinks. What we're doing is driving traffic to the website, pushing their presence up in the search engines, and getting more clients calling. And I would give two examples. One would be the client who's still happy with me 14 years later and is still using us for marketing. Although we have reduced his services, he doesn't need the full-on supercharged marketing because his business is doing so well. I had another roofer contractor that asked to pause for a while because we sent him so much business. He said he just needed to take a little break and catch up with the leads. But we don't have contracts. So if people aren't happy, then they can stop using us. And that's something I think is important for a company, local business to look at when they're trying to find a marketing company, is do they lock you into a long-term contract? To me, that ought to raise a few flags.
Right. So just a question, there's a lot of different things, search engine optimization and pay-per-click and that kind of thing. So do you have any views on, what percentage of a annual budget a contractor should use, or whether we should focus on search engine optimization or pay-per-click? Sort of what are your views on those?
Sure. Well, I think that you need a lot of different tools for your marketing toolbox. I recommend 5 to 10% of your gross revenue. And that would be including your ad spend. So there would be not only what you're giving to the marketing company, but also what you're spending on Google ads and Facebook and Instagram ads. And you will watch it. Every single time someone calls, you want to ask them, where did you hear about us? How did you find us? And then you also want the marketing company to give you a monthly report so that you can measure the results. And then you make changes based on what's working the best for your company and where you're seeing the best results.
And what would you look for return on investment if you're going to spend, let's say you have a $2 million marketing company and you're spending 5%, which is what, that's 100 grand a year, right? All in. What kind of results would you expect for that? Do you have any like numbers?
I like 10 to 1. I like for them to, for the amount of money that they pay my company, I like them to get a 10 to 1 return on investment.
So if they spend, $10,000, you should get $100,000 back in business, right?
I think that, yes, I think those are excellent results.
Okay, good. And then, so do you have any opinion whether it's better to use or when to use pay-per-click and that kind of versus building SEO? Do you have any opinion on which is better or when to use them?
I do. Organic is better, and that's 80% of the searches, and people trust it more. So I believe that you should always have organic marketing, that you do not ignore that. I do see the value of the pay-per-click, the Google Ads, Facebook, and Instagram. I consider that an additional tool to add on, and something that sometimes the more money you put in, the better results you see. And yet there are times where I'll get to the point and tell you, I don't think you ought to spend any more money on pay-per-click, or your organic results are doing so well. Let's pull back on the paid advertising. But I definitely lean toward organic long term, and then using other methods to supplement.
Okay. And then on organic long term, how often do you, for example, you meet with a client weekly or monthly, or how often do you actually meet with a client to go over these numbers?
So organically, and I'll answer a second question, we post to the website twice a week. And then we also post to social media, depending on what they need. It could be twice a week, it could be every single day. We have monthly reports that we provide for them, and we connect them. It's great technology, AI, and we will be able to connect them to Google Analytics, connect all of their accounts, and the reports will automatically upload and go to their inbox on the 3rd of each month. And then each company has their own client relationship manager, someone that they can call at any time. They have their cell phone number, which I know a lot of large marketing companies are not going to offer that, but you have direct access to your client relationship manager to go over the report, ask questions, or even just particular needs. I'll have roofers call and say, we have a big storm coming. Can you do something? And we immediately go into action, updating the website, posting to social media, and these add a lot of credibility. These are not storm chasers that show up knocking on your door. This is a prepared company, and just giving advice and offering their professionalism to people anticipating the trees falling on their businesses or their homes. And you want a marketing company that will react when you need them to do something different or do something special.
Okay. And so what is it, what are blog posts for roofers? I'm just curious, what kind of subjects do you cover and how do you make it interesting? How do you make roofing interesting to the consumer in a blog post?
Well, I am amazed by my writers. Some of my writers are professional authors that sell books on Amazon, but I am amazed that they can write articles every single week on different topics. You would think you could only write so many topics on shingles or steel roof.
Right.
But creatively talking about roofing and how to make architectural decisions or aesthetic um, decisions, that very, very creative articles. And then also talking about roofs seasonally, including information about gutters, the wind and the leaves, or even the age of trees around the building. So I'm just always impressed with my writers when they are able to be very creative. Now, they are not professional contractors, and we're not writing as professional contractors. We are writing in the way that the customer is looking for the roofer. What do I do when my roof leaks? Or how do I know if it's time to have my roof inspected? Things that the average customer is going to ask or want to know, we write from that perspective. So when people ask me, I mean, we write for doctors, we write for attorneys, we write for roofers, and but we are not professionals in all of those areas. And it is on purpose. We're talking from the customer's perspective.
So, and what kind of traction do you get with those blog posts? Do people actually read them? I'm just curious.
Um, I don't know how much they read them, but I do know that the search engines love them.
They,
Google likes the fresh content. It means that the website is updating regularly and providing relevant and good information. And it's possible that someone sees the article and they click on it and go to the website. And our attention spans in America are so short. They're on the site less than a minute. But if the result is that they click on the contact us or they fill out a form, that's what we want. We don't need them to read the whole article. We just need to get
right.
their attention.
So what you're saying is the blogs are as much or more for Google's, benefit to be sure you're on page one than they are to people actually getting the information.
Right. What we want to do is increase your brand, your online presence, make it easy for the prospective customer to find you. And they might find you, do a blog article, a social media post. It might be one of the backlinks that we point to your website. Or it could be a video on YouTube. It doesn't matter how they find you. We just want your business to be everywhere on the internet. So when they're looking and they need that particular type of product or service, then they can find you.
Now, do you use specific search words and geofencing and that kind of thing to make sure that you're finding the right people? How would you do that?
Yes to both. So we do use Google Analytics. We will first ask the business owner what they believe are their primary keywords. For instance, they may say, well, I only want to do commercial flat roofing and steel roofing. And these are the words that people use to find me. So we will do a keyword search, work with Google Analytics tools, and we will create a list and show them what phrases people use in their community to find them, how competitive that word is, how many searches that word gets. And then working together, we help them choose 8 to 10 keyword phrases that we focus on. And I say 8 to 10 because we do 2 posts a week every week. So that averages, 4 to 5 weeks a month.
Okay, and geofencing, I assume a lot of these roofing contractors are only doing stuff within 10 miles or 20 or 30 miles of their home office, right?
Some will travel farther. It depends. But the geofencing, if they will take photos when they're on site, or even very short videos, 30 seconds to 1 minute, and send them to me, and I tell them just text them to me, then that definitely helps. Google can tell the location and it will promote them more in that particular location.
Okay. And you get these guys actually to do that, huh? That's interesting. Send
Some,
you.
some will. Um, it is more difficult, and our job is to make things easier for them, which they remind me it's not easy to remember to take a picture each time. But
Right.
if they do take a couple a month, it just makes the world of difference. A few new updated pictures or a couple of videos, there are so many different ways we can use them. We can upload them to YouTube, embed them on the website, post them to social media. We can even put them on TikTok if that's something they're interested in. But there's so many different ways to use a video.
So you get sure that your clients actually take the videos. Does the customer ever take the videos, or is it always the client or the pictures?
It actually doesn't matter. I mean, if you can get your customers to take the video, that that saves you even more time. But it's more like you pull up in your truck, you get out, you take your phone out and say, this is the house we're working on today, and we're in South Charlotte.
Okay.
This is the type of roof we're putting architectural shingles on and beginning work today. And then a few days later, come back to check and make sure everything looks good. Then you just pull out the phone again. I have some roofers that will get up on top of the roof and film their videos there. And I don't encourage that,
Right.
but we do get a lot of views.
Well, that's good. Well, then, so you find that this social media gets you ranking on Google. You hear rumors that if you're not on the first page, you're not. Is that true?
I think so, but think about your own searches. When you go on the internet and you want something, whatever it is that you're looking for that you want, how often do you go past the first page, the second or the third? It
Right.
really is rare.
So it's first page. And then do you show how their competitors rank and you tell them how to sort of rank higher than their competitors? Is that part of what you help people do?
Yes, exactly. So that's why we only work with one business in each market area. So, for instance, only one, I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. So, only one roofer in Charlotte, or only one roofer in Fort Worth, Texas, for example. Um, and that does narrow it down a bit, but with us, it means that we have long-term clients. They know that we are not working for anyone that competes with them as long as we work with them, which means they stay with us for a long time, but there are only so many slots on that first page. So it's important for us to put all of our efforts into that company. And I have a team of 12, and they take it very seriously that that is their company. For example, that is their roofer for Fort Worth, Texas, and
Right.
they are excited to see the results. There is one thing I don't want us
Good.
to miss. Um, is that on March 1st, where Google is taking down all of the sites that end in .business, .site. People, when you register for a Google business profile, Google used to ask, would you like a website? And they would put up a very simple website, and a lot of contractors took advantage of that. A lot of small businesses or they're just starting their company, but Google has decided that's no longer in their interest, and they are taking down all of the sites that end in .business, .site on March 1st. So
Now, wait, so did Google let everybody know and give them an option? Or did Google just sort of said, oh, well, it's your problem? Just curious.
since I don't have one of those sites, I don't know if they are getting emails. I do know that you will get phone calls every single day from people saying they are from Google and they're not.
Right.
So it's possible they have been sent emails. It's even possible they have gotten phone calls, but there's so many of the fake, I'm calling from Google to
Right.
help you with your listing, that I don't even know if they would recognize it.
Yeah,
But on
I get those every day, so I ignore them entirely, right? Because you know they're not.
Mhm. So that people may know, they may not know, but your business needs more. Even if it was staying, even if these business sites were remaining, it's not enough to rank in the search engines. It doesn't look professional. It's not something that will give you credibility, because you can't put forms on there. There's a very little customization. So maybe Google realized it's not really helping people anyway. So there's not much point to keeping the sites.
Right. So if you were giving, a contractor that's doing, let's say, a couple of million advice, and do you have any recommendations, what are the two or three things they need to do to make sure that are on the front page, whether it's also you're looking at their competition, that kind of thing. So what are the most important things that the contractor needs to do to make sure they're doing the SEO, best SEO?
You want an optimized website, one that loads quickly, is responsive to all devices. You want to have that website maintained, or else you'll get hacked or your website gets slow. You want fresh content to the website, and you also want to post to social media. That gives more credibility. If you have the budget, then I would say supplement it with paid advertising. And then also network in the community, and always ask your customers for testimonials. And it depends on where your business is showing up best. Always ask for testimonials on Google, but depending on your market, you may also want them to leave a testimonial on LinkedIn or Facebook. It just depends, or Yelp. I don't recommend Yelp, but it just depends on
Does
where
House
you're
any good
showing up.
anymore? HOUZZ, does that ever help at all?
It does, and those are very expensive leads, but there's a lot of things out there that they can try and see if they'll get a good return on investment.
Okay. So those are three things you should. Now, if people want to get in touch with you, Sherry, as far as do you do like an analysis of their site? I mean, because a lot of these people, I don't think they don't know what they don't know. And so it's hard for them to make those kind of decisions. So two questions I have for you is, one is, how should somebody go about searching for a marketing company to work with? And two, do you have any like free assessment or something you can do for people's websites?
So yes, if you go to roofercontractormarketing.com, roofercontractormarketing.com, we will do a free audit of your website and your market. So we'll tell you, here's what you need to change, here's what you need to do, here's what your competitors are doing, and how you can move up in the search engines. And this free audit basically contains a to-do list of what to do. Most people, they'll read it and you understand most of it, but you can't just go out and do it. That's not your area of professionalism. Then I recommend finding someone, it might be us, to do all of the things on that list. How do you find a good marketing company? You decide what do you need? Are you trying to boost your brand awareness? Do you need more traffic to the website? Do you need more leads? I hear that the most. I just need more sales. I need more leads.
Right.
If you evaluate the marketing company, you look at their area of expertise. I have small business owners say, well, my niece, she just got out of college and she can design my website. Well, I really don't recommend that. Possibly their niece did learn how to design websites, but that doesn't mean they can optimize them for the search engines. That doesn't mean they understand completely marketing. So I would work with a company that's been in business several years, that has good client reviews, that's willing to give you the phone number of other business owners if you want to call them and ask about their experiences. So you can check their education, credentials, awards. Sometimes you look on a website, you'll see that they won awards.
Mhm.
And then also, do they align with your values and cultures? I have clients all over the United States, and they will tell me, I like working with you because you're a local small business. You're not in my town, but you're a local business. So I'm not a 1-800 number, press 1, press 2, press 3, and
Right.
then you may get a call back tomorrow. They know how to reach me. They know how to reach their client relationship manager. They can text us. So I think that's important, is what kind of relationship, what kind of communication is important when you're choosing a marketing company. And
Right.
then transparent pricing and contracts. Do they lock you into a year contract? Or do they give you an initial quote and then a week later they add another $1,000 that they didn't mention before?
Mhm.
So I've heard that repeatedly, that they want to know how much it's going to cost, and if it changes, they want to know why. Why is it changing? Why
Right.
does this benefit me?
So you would suggest somebody doesn't require a long-term contract and somebody that they can have a more of a personal relationship with, right?
I think so. Um, the companies that get so large that market to hundreds of people, you're not a person anymore. I mean, most of the business owners that I know them and their wife, or I know their comptroller. You know, I know that when I call up and I say, hi, this is Shirley, and I don't even get to my last name, then
Right.
they immediately, oh, and that they might call me, you're our marketing person, or you're our web girl, or they have all
Right.
these funny names, but the point is they know that me and a team behind me is for them. We are here for them, and it's something that makes them feel very comfortable, that and that we stay on trends, that I have a team that part of their job is researching all the algorithm changes. Google has at least one algorithm change a day, different marketing trends. That's also something new. If you do email marketing, Google and Yahoo have recently raised their spam standards, and all emails need DKIM and DMARC set. And it doesn't matter that you understand what those acronyms mean. What matters is that you hire someone to fix your email, or the newsletters that you send out will automatically go to spam to all Gmail and Yahoo accounts. And
Right.
that's effective immediately. So just having a company that knows that kind of things that are going on, and then they just immediately start doing them and fixing your email or fixing your website or changing the algorithm, changing the content based on a new algorithm change, so that you're not worrying about it. You just see the monthly report, you like the results, you hear the leads coming in, and you're happy with them. That's what matters.
Okay. Well, you sound a little bit more like a fractional CMO in some way. I know that's not what you technically do, but you sound like somebody you can call and say, hey, this marketing isn't working or what can I do, versus just like, this is what we're doing, we're done, right? So it's like a personal relationship.
I love that. I'm going to use that because it's interesting, because we do online marketing, and the longer I work with companies, the more they trust me. And they'll call me and say, I'm doing an ad in a magazine. Can we talk through it? Or what do you think about billboards? Will you do research on me and tell me where I can put up a billboard in town? And that's not technically what I do, but they come to trust me, and so they'll just run it by me. So
Right.
yes, I think you're right. And then they also send me all the emails and say, is this a scam? Because there's so many
There's so
people.
many,
Oh,
absolutely.
it's awful. They'll send invoices for domain registration from companies you've never heard of, and
And
it's
with
just
AI,
crazy.
it's just getting worse because the hackers are getting better and better, right? Unfortunately. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I even include that when I tell them this is what we do each month, is just forward me all those things that look a little fuzzy to you, or a little suspicious, and I'll check it out for you.
Well, that's almost a fractional IT. So it's like you're sort of a combination of both. But I would say you're definitely what I consider a fractional SMO, just not a digital marketing firm, because you're concerned with everything. You're not just concerned. Your website's all we do and we're done. You look at their whole picture, which I think is great.
Mhm.
So Shirley, if people want to get in touch with you, how do they reach you?
704-904-2642, or Shirley, my name, Shirley, at roofercontractormarketing.com.
Great.
And you can also find me on LinkedIn, Shirley Cress Dudley.
Cool. Okay. Well, I would think about listening to this podcast. If you are currently not engaged in marketing, is a good place to start. And if you are engaged in marketing and you want to know if how you compare to your other, the other guys in your city and how you're doing, I definitely suggest you give Shirley a call, because again, you probably don't know what you don't know, and it's hard to make an informed decision without knowing that. So thank you, Shirley. I appreciate you being here, and give her a call. I think it's a good time spent.
Thank you.